All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are biggity back. Yes, sir. It's Hoop Talk, the podcast, episode 2, season 2. As you can see, this episode is going to air on October 31st, Halloween night.
Spooky.
So we decided to do a little theme for y'all. We're dressed up. Your boy right here is MC Nasty Nas for Halloween. Y'all peep the gold chain. Straight out of Spirit Halloween for about $8.99. Yes, sir. It's heavy as hell, though. This shit's heavy as hell. It actually feels like it could be real.
Yo, spinners, bro.
Oh, this shit's kind of...
That's crazy, right?
Shout out John Cena.
Y'all tell the folks what y'all dressed up as.
You guys probably can't tell, but I'm Frederick Krueger.
The crocodile hunter.
Before the burns. I'm sorry, I couldn't put on makeup. It's a lot of work to do. This is what you guys get.
I think my outfit is not really, with what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be in shape, but really I'm a Serpents basketball player. Got shout out to Nas for the gear. I get to live my dream out for the day.
Arguably the best costume you could possibly be.
Yeah.
I was actually a Serpents player for last year's Halloween. I have pictures and everything.
Don't even listen to him. Nas is getting paid for this. It's like Make a Wish Foundation kid right now.
Yep, I love it. But
luckily Nas did not hear what I said.
If y'all watching, man, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share with all your friends and family. We love the support, and we would need as much more as you can offer us. So get your people on it. You should make sure you put them onto our podcast because we need as many listeners as we can possibly get. If y'all got a costume while you're watching this, take a pic. Send it to us on Instagram, and we'll post y'all, all right, on our page. So best... Well, can we give them something? We got something? We got $2 or something?
We got 20. We could do 20.
I have a $2 bill. I have a $2 bill.
I'm down for $20. You want to do $20?
We could bust up 20. Let's do 20.
Listen, everybody who's watching, if you send us a picture with your costume on, DM us at Instagram at atleta.sports. DM us on Instagram with your costume on, picture, of course. And we'll pick the best costume, and we will send y'all $20. We'll send y'all $20 because, well, we're broke like that. So that's all we can afford.
Get that cash money. I'll throw in $2 extra because I have a $2 bill I got recently.
Like I mentioned, this chain was only $8.99, so don't let it deceive you, all right?
It's a nice chain, man. That's more expensive than most people I know.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't even have a chain.
Anthony Edwards wears a lot of fake chains. He's said it very
I did
adamantly.
not know that.
No, he's very open.
Because who's going to question him about it? I'm not going to question him.
Save you some money.
He's very open about it, but let's get on with it, man. That's enough bullshit for now. We got the NBA season back. We got the Celtics and the Pacers on in the background right now, so if any crazy reactions happen, we apologize in advance, but you never know who's going to get dunked on or who's going to cross
Celtics
over.
also trying to come back in at 91-107.
Yeah, Celtics are actually down. Yeah, they're down 16 points right now. Jason Tatum, 26 points, leading the way for the Celtics, it looks like. But we got a lot of stuff to cover in the NBA. Let's see what we got on. Let's see the most interesting thing that's happened so far. Where do you think we should start?
I think let's just
first week.
How has that first week been for you guys so far? Like what have you noticed that you really, really want to kind of talk about with each other?
The bad teams. Oh, I'll go first. Oh yeah, the bad teams aren't as bad as we thought they were going to be. It's way more competitive than I actually thought. I mean, there's blowouts. That's the NBA. People go out on Saturdays. People party. These are still human beings. They're tired from other things. But regardless, I think it's been really competitive. The Boston Celtics are doing what they're supposed to be doing. I think the number one focus is the amount of scoring we're getting from new players in the league. It's not the same guard. It's like new players showing, like it's a changing of the guard right now, and I love it for the league, for sure.
I disagree. I don't think it's been competitive at all. I think
it's the beginning of the season. I
mean, we're talking about 3 to 4 games played for most teams. Like winning a game or two, keeping a game or two close means nothing this early on. Like every team, for 2 years in a row, the Utah Jazz have tried to convince us that they're going to be a good team. For 2 years in a row, you know what I mean? And it always goes the same direction. They start off great the first 20, 30 games. Then next thing you know, they finish the season 26 and whatever the record would be. You know what I mean? So like. This is just a bunch of hoopla to me. So, if I had to say what I am, what I enjoyed the most, of course, is the Lakers. Now, for those of you who are watching the game right now, we're recording October 30th, so just so it doesn't sound crazy to y'all, the Lakers are playing the Cavaliers right now. Game's about over, and they got trashed. But
badly.
Despite that being said, That's been my favorite highlight so far. I've enjoyed how the Lakers have played. I like just the organization of their play style now. I like the game plans being followed. I think those first two games, or I don't know if it was the first two games, or it was one of the two games they played out of the first three games, but they played against the Suns and they played against the Wolves. Mm-hmm. And I think those two games were games where I really saw the difference the most, because with the Wolves, you could see the game plan was very specific. It was attack Julius Randle, and they did, and they won very decisively. Decisively in the sense that they pretty much had to lead the entire game. It wasn't like a super blowout or nothing, but the game plan versus the Suns, you could tell they were attacking the same person again, which was Devin Booker, and that worked,
And Nurkic, too.
And when you attack players like that, that aren't going to put in the maximum effort on defense, that's going to result in a lot of open opportunities for the rest of the team, and that's really what you saw. Rui Hachimura had a great first game versus the Wolves because he was attacking Julius Randle. They even said it in a conference that they noticed that Julius Randle stands around a lot, doesn't put in maximum effort at all possessions. So when you catch him standing around, cut behind him, flash up, and you'll get an open shot. Rui Hachimura listened. He stuck to the game plan. Every single time Julius Randle was playing lackadaisical, he would just cut behind him, flash up, and he would just get those easy mid-range shots, easy baseline cuts for dunks and ones. And even Reeves, there was one play where Julius Randle did not put any effort towards boxing out at the free throw line. Reeves literally just jumped over him and got the and one putback after the Lakers missed the free throw.
Yeah.
So, that kind of stuff, that's what's exciting me the most. I'm a Lakers fan, if you can't tell. So of course.
I just want to say something, Nas, about those games. Those were competitive games, weren't they?
Yeah.
So we can't, it was competitive. It's been competitive, but between the big teams, you can't lie.
Competitive against great teams.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be competitive.
That's what we've been getting, great matchups. I don't think we've gotten really,
but you're talking about competitive with bad teams. The bad teams haven't been competitive.
The Nets have been competitive.
They have not been competitive.
The Nets have. They have not gotten blown out, and that's surprising for the Nets.
Yeah.
They also, not only have they not gotten blown out, you know what team they beat? The Bucks.
Yeah. I mean, but everybody's beating
the
Bucks.
The Bucks' only win so far has been against Philly. That's...
Well, we got that queued up for a topic for today.
And I would like to say that's shocking, but it's not.
Yeah, we got that queued up for a topic today, so we're going to go in on that too. But no, I don't know. I understand the notion of the competitiveness, the thought process, but it's just 4 games. It's not that serious. Same for the Lakers. I'm not ecstatic. It's just 4 games.
I'm happy to see a change in the coaching. That's it.
Exactly.
I don't expect them to be a championship team because it's the same roster, but just seeing an improvement in adjustments, seeing JJ Redick's hands on the sidelines is shocking because I don't think I ever saw Darvin Ham's hands ever. They're in his pockets at all time.
I think we were talking about it before the pod, and to me, it's the adjustments, man. He makes them quick, and I think Nas kind of touched on this, but I didn't really hear him say it. Players seem more prepared now. They seem way more engaged. And those are things you get when you have a coach that's competitive. Those are things that are intangibles, wanting to know the game. Because we see teams that players play, and it seems like they know what they're doing, but it seems like they don't at the same time. I guess the point I'm coming, they seem so prepared, bro. Every night they know what they have to do. They're focused on either Julius Randle, like Nas says. Even when they lost, they were focused. They were still focused on the same things. They were trying to attack the weak link. This is smart. They probably arguably have some of the best switch players in the NBA when it comes to them getting switched on. LeBron, arguably, if he gets someone small, he's killing them. If he gets someone big, he's going by them. AD, same thing. He's literally doing the same thing. So it's just what I love the most is that the offense is not being initiated by LeBron all the time anymore now. We see D'Angelo picking it up, Austin Reeves. We even see Anthony Davis bringing the ball up the court here and there. Not at all times, but when needed. And it's good to see that this team is going to be able to move the ball. And that's really all they were missing was moving the ball to me. So, yeah.
Anthony Davis is balling now.
He is cooking.
You know who else is balling? The 4th best point guard in the NBA.
Oh my gosh, he's not letting that go.
He's not letting Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. That's been surprising to me though, because we did talk about it, and I did concede that maybe he's not going to get as many touches as he previously was, and it's only a couple games into the season. I think they've only played 3, but he's averaging 20 shots a game so far. He's averaging 28 points a game, and Bro, OKC genuinely looks like they actually have a genuine second star right now in Chet Holmgren. Have you guys been watching the OKC play at all?
Here and there. I just haven't been really getting a lot of because so many games is on right now. I have not watched a lot of them. I think they played Dallas recently, right? And they beat Dallas.
Yep.
So I kind of watched into that game, but other than that, not really. I mean, I don't expect them to fall off. They're young. I expect them to get better. Their real season starts in the playoffs to me.
But bro,
listen, I gotta be that guy today because I don't see what everybody else sees. I really don't. With Chet, yes, but you moved the topic to Chet really fast. I was still trying to get to Shea. I don't see what everybody else sees with a lot of the things happening this season. Like you mentioned before we started the podcast about how teams are playing better. I was like, who exactly is playing that much better? You know what I mean?
Cleveland.
I don't see it that much. Cleveland was already a good team. They just started the season 5-0.
The Bulls are playing better, though. I would say that.
You know what I mean?
Compared to last year.
Again, they played 3 games. They're 2-1. Like to me, it's like, what are we talking about? But regardless, I digress. Shea, why is he balling in comparison to who he was last year?
Yeah,
he's not. It's not a comparison to last year. It's the expectations that we on the podcast set for him. We did agree that we thought that he would be shooting less often because Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren would kind of take a step up. We assumed that his production would be lesser than what it is, and it's not.
No, his production is exactly what I thought he was. He's averaging 28 compared to the 30-31 that he typically averages.
But we were saying 26 and 7 before. It's 28 and 7.
Is not that far away from it. It's not like a crazy gap.
But the whole thing is efficiency. He's lower than what he has been throughout his entire career.
Exactly.
If he picks up his efficiency with the same amount of shots, which I think we could expect him to do.
So there you go. You just proved my point. He's not balling right now. He could be balling if he played better.
He's balling.
Just said that.
He's absolutely balling.
28 points per game is, of course, he's hooping.
Yeah.
What I don't understand is the notion of
he
doing that's remarkable compared to who he typically is. In my personal opinion, he is playing worse. But it's not like he was here, now he's here. He was here, now he's here. You know what I mean? If you guys can't even see that.
Where's the threshold to stop him from balling? Because to me, if
it's
he's
efficiency.
Here, balling is like him not balling is right here. 28 points and 7. Regardless of who Shea is, I'm not saying that he should be most improved. I'm not saying that he deserves a reward. I'm saying that people on his team stepped up. They have more shots than they previously did, and he's continuing to ball out. Bless you.
My only thing with Shea, and I don't hate Shea. I just don't. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't get to see him play enough. It could be, like I said, his market. His games are real late, things like that. But the team doesn't look like. How do I say it? Like, it's not... I'm not watching him and dropping my mouth and be like, golly, he's doing it again. It's not that vibe that I'm getting from him. It's more of the fact that he's just been consistent, and he's being consistent. And I just think that's more of like an overall career thing than it is a season-to-season thing. But again, like I said, and I just think the OKC's real series, real season starts in the playoffs. I'm not looking for growth in the season. They've showed me everything they can do in one season. I'm cool with that. I just need to see what you can do when it's a 7-game series against a team that you got to see 7 times. That is just as good or maybe better. So that's where they're at now. They're in that Boston realm. They moved from like little baby NBA players to like preteens. I need to see you win now, even if you're not going to win a championship. Second round, the Western Conference Final. I need to see you there if I'm going to sit here and have these certain expectations I have now for a veteran team. Well, not veteran, but getting older.
That kind of TV's wearing my sweater, by the way.
Chet is balling, though. Chet is balling. I guess my point with Shea is like, what is he doing that's worth mentioning? I think that's really my point. Is it's like you're adamant about the fact that maybe we were wrong, but it's like, to me, I think we were exactly right. He's producing less. His field goal percentage is lower. His 3-point percentage is lower. He's never really been a crazy great 3-point shooter, but it's so lower, which is not good. He's taking far more shots and not really making them, so maybe he should be taking less shots. So it's like, I think if anything right now, it's the progression of Chet that's holding them afloat. I don't know if Chet plays like he played last year, if they win every game that they've won so far.
Speaking of Chet, which is the real reason I brought this up, because he's been the most surprising. 4 blocks a game starting off.
Yeah, that is crazy. He's averaging 23 points, 13 rebounds, and 56% from the field. He's balling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not making his threes, but
his shot is not there.
Something's gonna happen. But I think that'll pick up. But yeah, Chet is definitely balling. Wemby has started the season a little underwhelming.
Very underwhelming.
He has not been what we would expect him to be. I think the most underwhelming part of Wemby is that Chris Paul's impact hasn't really shown itself.
Yeah.
Chris Paul, he's averaging the amount of assists that I would expect him to average. I think he's probably around 6 or 7 per game. But it doesn't appear that his presence has fully, rubbed off on Wemby as much as I thought it would. I really did think having a Chris Paul would make him a far better player, similar to how it did for Devin Booker and Michael Bridges and players like that. Similar to how it did for players like Shea. Shea learned and progressed a lot because of Chris Paul. Mm-hmm. So like I said, 3 or 4 games played, not enough to panic. But I am surprised Wemby did not come out guns blazing. I really thought he would.
I think.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Do you think Chris Paul? I love Chris Paul. First of all, I think he's great. But with Wemby's play style, where he does kind of require the ball in his hand a lot more, for how he plays and how crazy he is, do you think Chris Paul is really the best pairing with him?
Yes, because I don't think that's how he should play. I don't know. I think it's going to be very difficult to figure Wemby out. And I think it's going to be very difficult for Wemby to figure himself out. I think that's going to be the dilemma. Is what style of basketball are you going to play? Where are you most efficient? Where are you most effective? You're too young and you're too inexperienced to really decide that yet. I think that's going to be his problem. Where he played previously to the NBA just wasn't enough. The competition level just wasn't enough for him to say, oh, this is what's going to make me the best player possible. And in the NBA, it's like same thing. It's like it's not enough of a sample size to decide. So I think it's too soon to answer your question to decide if the pairing is right or not. I don't believe a player that tall with that much defensive ability should be playing that style. That's my personal opinion, but who knows? He could prove me wrong. I do believe he should be off the ball far more often. I think he should play off the ball. I think he should play off the ball a lot more often. I think being ball dominant is not the right choice for him.
My thing with this whole thing is I don't think this is a player thing. I think this is more of like a system thing. You're going through an offense that's never really been, especially with Popovich, they don't highlight scores. It's not somewhere you're going to go to average your career high in anything when you go to San Antonio. You go to the win, right? And you go to the win. You're really sacrificing a lot. It's any player you watch there. Like, you're not seeing someone averaging 30 points. It's not the system. And hear me out, Nas, because I know you're going to say something. All I'm saying is, if he wants to, yeah. I just feel like players like him need to touch the ball. They need to be the leader of the team. They need to develop their system. Great players fall in line. They fall under. Great players don't usually have someone, and it's very rare in between where you see like a great player not be the system for his team. And I just feel like, I'm not saying Greg Popovich isn't a good coach, but he might not be the coach that could get Wemby to that next threshold, in a sense of offensively minded, being able to kind of just be more of like what you said, a post player, someone who can attack the rim, someone who can teach him to attack the rim. I just feel like if he was more of a Giannis mindset, he would be way better on offense than he is now. If he caps his 3 points at like 5 3-pointers a game, I think he would be way better than what he is now. But the way they got him playing right now and the way he is playing, it just doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help the system, him, or anything. That's just my take on it.
I think Pop is the perfect coach for him because you don't want him to develop bad habits. You don't want him pulling up, for 8 threes a game. So I think Pop holds him accountable for certain things that we really don't need. I think the Spurs, genuinely, outside of maybe, the Raptors, and maybe OKC have some of the best development staff on their team. So they're developing him to do the right things. I think adding Chris Paul at this exact time just isn't working yet because he does have to change. Like he is changing from having the ball in his hands, constantly creating for himself, to now, there's times where he's a role man where he really wasn't previously. He's now playing in the post a lot more where, they're feeding him after the play isn't really working out. So I just think it's a learning curve for him right now.
Yeah.
I think it'll be beneficial later, but I think he's a look rocky at the beginning with Chris Paul. I think Chris Paul's never really had a teammate like this.
Yeah, that's gonna happen. John Morant's second year in the league was his worst year in his entire career.
Yeah,
so
sophomore slumps or something that's real.
It's gonna happen. But yeah, I don't agree that San Antonio is not the right team for him or Popovich is not the right coach for him. I agree with Tyler. I think he's the perfect coach for him. He's gonna learn to play basketball the right way. He's gonna learn to do things the right way much earlier. There's no star player that left San Antonio and became a better player. I
don't think they have star players. They're like the one organization.
That's not true at all.
LaMarcus Aldridge, Kawhi Leonard.
That's not true. David Robinson, Tim Duncan, and
okay,
Kawhi
but
Leonard.
It's like
and now Victor Wembanyama.
Hold on, it's not like they're the Lakers or the Celtics. Hold on, calm down. It's not like they're producing superstars.
That's not what
no,
we're
but
saying,
that's
though.
what I'm saying. He's in a place right now where I feel like he's going to get capped at what he can do and what he can experience. There's not a lot of things that he's able to do right now because he's got that handicap where Pop's not giving him the realm. I think he should be able to run. Let him be a Ferrari and drive him to 200 miles per hour. I think sometimes when you cap these players, one, you're not building not the mental strength, but I just feel like in general, just anything, just the being able to be out there and to kind of just free and learn what you're good at, learn what you're bad at, versus don't do this again and don't do it again. It's just like you're like more being disciplined. And yeah, I get it, discipline is good, but he could be so creative. He can be the best scorer to ever play. Like I think, like genuinely think that.
Would you rather him be the best scorer, or would you rather him win championships? Because I don't think he does both.
And I don't think it's gonna be in San Antonio anytime soon.
What are we saying about San Antonio? You're letting the media fool you into believing San Antonio isn't one of the greatest franchises ever built.
I believe it's
just because they don't have the
franchise,
pizzazz of a Lakers and Knicks doesn't mean they haven't had the same level of success funneling players out of there.
Because Kawhi only averaged 2 points more when he left.
You're talking about one of the most successful
Why did
franchises
Kawhi
in the
leave,
last
though?
20,
Are we
30
forgetting
years.
why Kawhi left? Yeah, you're right, because they're stuck on their old habits, but are we forgetting why Kawhi left? Because he wasn't allowed to do what he wanted to do.
That's not why.
No, the issue he left.
He
we
left
found out
because
this
That was part
recently.
of the thing. No, hold on. It was injury, and they wanted him to play, and they said that he faked it. But also another thing was on the court stuff. Like, he was not allowed to be him. And that is very true. And that was a thing on social media. Kawhi looks so happy not being with the Spurs. He can do whatever he wants. I'm sorry. If you guys don't believe that Pop caps players, whether they're great or not, then I
believe Popovich not as drastic.
Who did Popovich cap? He breeded a top 10 center in David Robinson, the best power forward in NBA history in Tim Duncan. If healthy, a top 5 small forward in NBA history if healthy. Injuries helped that stop him from doing that.
We can't even. We're not going to do that. We're not even going to put him in top 5 because
it's specific.
I
If he's not
don't put him
injured.
in top 5.
Name
Small
5
forward.
if healthy.
Injured, though?
If healthy, who's better than
Larry
5
Bird,
players right now?
Larry Bird, LeBron James. I'm pretty sure I don't have a list in front of me, so I can't.
Kevin Durant, I'll give you that.
Kevin Durant. We could put Magic at small. Or we're gonna keep him at
Nope.
point
Of course,
guard.
he's a point guard.
I don't have a list in front of me, but I just know he's not top.
But I don't think you.
If you can't
like,
think
if
of
I give you a
5
list, I
players
don't
off
think
top of
you
your
can
head, they're
name
not
5.
guaranteed. So it is
I'll
very
give
obvious.
Scottie
Kawhi-
Pippen. I'll give it, but even then, I think he's on the same level as Scottie Pippen. I think he's absolutely.
Yeah, you could debate.
If you
Scottie
take
Pippen
his
for
season,
sure.
let's take his season. 4 small forwards. He had one of the 5 best seasons of all time.
Yeah, and we're talking if healthy. The health is what really capped him off the most. But again, like, what are we saying? Like, Wemby is going to be better if he goes to a different team. San Antonio has never proven to hold a player back from being the best version of himself he can. The only thing San Antonio has proven is that they teach players how to play the game.
How to buy into the
simple
system.
as that.
Now that I have players in front of my face, and I'm sorry guys, I think Carmelo Anthony is better than Kawhi Leonard.
He is not a better player than Kawhi Leonard.
Prime Carmelo Anthony? Are we?
Then Kawhi Leonard?
What? He averaged almost 36 points a game.
Yeah.
He led the
You
Knicks
have
to
to
the
average.
playoffs.
And
You
did
have to look
nothing
at
with
Kawhi
that.
at 27
I'm
points
talking about
with all defense.
Prime versus prime. I'm taking Carmelo. A lot of people are. I'm not wild with that.
Of
today.
course, a lot of people are.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a lot of people.
And then I keep looking down this list, man. Like, Scottie Pippen's on there, Julius Erving, Elgin Baylor. I'm just looking, John Havlicek. Like, there's some people.
And you think
fantastic.
Kawhi Leonard's not better than all those guys you just said?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's a debatable, it's a debatable thing. The only one I'm not going to debate with you is Tim Duncan. I think he's top 2 power forwards of all time.
And David Robinson is a top 10 center of all time.
I don't know that either, bro. That's an argument in itself. We can't.
Oh no, I would.
David Robinson now is not a top 10 center of all
Bro,
time.
that's an argument.
Come on.
Wilt,
An argument
Kareem,
with who?
Dwight, Shaq. We could keep.
You could
Hakeem.
argue that David Robinson was better
You know,
than
I
Dwight.
said top 10, right? Not 5. I said top 10.
My bad. Top 10. Even top 10.
I think you could argue
Hakeem.
that David Robinson was better than Dwight. I think that could
You
absolutely
could
be an
argue. I
argument.
would not say so, but you can argue that. I can
Hakeem
understand.
Olajuwon. Come on, y'all.
I agree. Those are my top 5, but David Robinson is
Again,
right
you're
at the bottom
not
of the 10.
naming solidified players who are better. You're just naming
I just
players.
did. Okay, Wilt.
10. You
Wilt,
can't name 10 players better
Kareem,
than...
Shaq. I think Dwight, personally,
That's 4. You need 9 more. You need 10 more.
Bro,
to get them off the
Hakeem
list.
Olajuwon's on there? Did I say Hakeem?
Yeah.
Bro, I don't got players in front of me, man. You're
Exactly.
killing me right now.
Because he's
But
a top
not-
10 center of all time.
To you. Let's say to you. Let's just say to you. But to
I got
me,
to
I
put
don't.
him there too.
I'm arguing right now the fact that why the Spurs aren't, okay, fuck it. Let's go ahead and do the argument. David Robinson, Tony Parker, Tim Duncan, Ginobili. Give me other players that Pop has produced that when they leave out of there, and Kawhi Leonard, that when they leave that system and whatever, they're still doing what they're supposed to do.
You don't need to.
Nobody
When's the last time Pops went to the bro? I'm not even
Nobody
trying to do
left
this.
that team at their prime. Tony Parker left when he was damn near 40
I'm not
years
saying that
old.
anybody left at their prime, bro. But what I'm trying to say is, bro, that shit is over. Those players are retired.
So let's use that.
What's going on right now?
So the Heat are commonly
going
known as
on
a
with
great
Devin
franchise.
Vassell?
Outside of the Heat, who comes out of the Heat and are great players?
Outside of those players, who has Pop developed right now in the last 4 years?
Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson,
Derek White.
Derek White
Dejounte
didn't
Murray.
No, those Dejounte Murray. I'm not even going to argue. Derek White.
Dejounte Murray is a great
Derek
player.
White left like before his prime.
No, he did not.
Yeah,
He had
he
his
did.
best
Next
season.
season?
He got picked up because of the season
Yeah.
he put together in San Antonio.
He doesn't go to the Celtics without that season.
Without that season,
Okay,
he does
are
not
those
get picked
players?
up.
Okay. Then we're gonna.
And
keep
he's a
arguing
role
this.
player. He's not a star.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So who has he developed?
He's not supposed to be a star.
Kawhi Leonard is the
No,
only
my
person we
question
really have
is,
to talk
who
about.
Has Greg been?
We just
developing?
mentioned every generation of basketball
No,
since
in the
Greg
last
Popovich
4
has been.
years, bro. In the last 4 years,
They're in a rebuilding
They haven't had a
phase.
top pick
They're
in
in
the
a
last 4
rebuilding
years.
phase.
Okay.
They're in a rebuilding phase. They're not supposed to be putting up the best players. They're in a rebuilding phase.
I think Devin Vassell, he's done great with him. I think Keldon Johnson, he's done great with him. I think DeJounte Murray, if we go back a little
They're
further,
all average NBA
2016.
players.
Bro, but they're not drafted
This
as
is our first real argument. These are real all
but
average NBA
they're not
players.
drafted as players that have like high potential.
Neither were those guys, other than Tim Duncan and David Robinson.
Exactly, and he developed them.
Yeah, but those were great players before they came into the NBA. But actually developing Tony Parker and Ginobili, and
He
I'll
developed them. He
throw
absolutely developed
DeJounte
them.
Murray, and I'll give you guys Derek White. But
And Kawhi.
And
Who
Kawhi.
the fuck was Kawhi in
Kawhi was a
college?
13. He was a top
15.
10, 20, top 20 pick. Anything top 20, you're developing, but it's really not. The talent's there.
Bro, you know how many busts exist in NBA history?
Of
You have to
course,
put
we
in
could
work
do
to
that
make
all
sure these
day.
guys succeed.
do that all day. But what I'm saying is, bro, what I'm trying to say is, bro, as of lately, and I'm going to agree with Sharp McCann on this, what has he given me to believe that Wemby is going to grow with him if I haven't seen any player even take a step to an all-star level? That's all I'm saying. Are we going to... We
But
all...
we have, though.
We
We
just
all
mentioned
Murray.
DeJounte
Do
Murray.
you guys believe this season Wemby's going to be with this team? Wemby's going to have an MVP type season? Because we all agree that he could have one.
Of course
I don't.
not.
I don't want him to
Spurs
have an
are
MVP
ass.
season for the next 3 or 4 years.
I think we all said that he could have an MVP-like season this year. This
He
team
can.
Can
But
he
I
win
don't
Defensive
expect
Player
it.
of the Year with this team?
Yes.
Yes, he can. He was second in place last year. Why wouldn't he this
No, I'm
year?
saying, well, they gave it to the person who had a better record. They didn't give it to the person with the worst record. I'm saying if he wins the same amount of
We
games,
all
can he be
voted him
a
Defensive Player of the Year.
They're
so
gonna
why is
win
that
more
even a
games
debate?
this year.
No, I'm just saying. But we're not the media of the NBA. We're the media of YouTube right now.
The Spurs are
So-
going to win more games this year. They're going to be right outside the play-in, possibly making it.
But does that give him a like? Is that really because the best defensive player? The best player usually goes to the best team on defense. We can agree Minnesota was probably the best team on defense last year, or other than Boston. Can we agree with that?
Yeah,
Okay,
they were the best.
So can he win anything with not being on a mediocre team? That's what I'm saying.
I think it is possible for him to win Defensive Player of the Year. I think that team offensively does not. There's nobody on that team that would go to another team and would be good because Pop's system is so great for them. That's what turns them into great players. He develops them, but that system overall is why Devin Vassell is averaging 20 points. That system is why Keldon Johnson got up to 20 points. Those players don't go to other teams and play well. because they're.
Oh my God,
Jason Tatum.
Oh my God,
that just busted my parlays. I am so sad.
But Pop has a record, and he has a record for a reason. He is the coach with the most wins throughout his entire career for a reason. Like, he has developed players into players that they never were.
I don't know. We'll see. I just need to see. I need a better season than what I'm getting right now. I really am just frustrated with the season, how it's going for them, because I did have him in my MVP watch, and it's hard to watch him not be what I feel like he would be, and a little bit of that goes to coaching. I
think a lot of it goes to adding Chris Paul to it too, though.
Of course, but I think a little bit goes to coaching. I think he did everything he was supposed to do as a player. He added weight, himself. He put himself in a position to be physically ready for the season. I just don't like seeing players like that, especially when you grow up on someone like LeBron, where I don't want a season wasted. I don't think he deserves to have a season wasted. I think that does impact his learning curve when he's out in the playoffs.
But why is it a season wasted? I'm confused. Why?
Anything that you're not in the playoffs, learning and growing, to me, when you're that great of a player, is to me.
But LeBron didn't make it until his third year.
It's his second year in the
league. No, LeBron made it his second year.
It's his second year in the league. Like, it's not normal for young guys to make it to the playoffs that early. It's not a common thing.
It's normal for the greats like Jason Tatum, Michael Jordan.
It's normal for the greats who get drafted in that situation. That's not fair.
What situation was he was drafted?
But Michael Jordan didn't make it his second year.
The hope of the Spurs. Oh man, we made this a Wemby thing, but I didn't mean to. But I'm just saying he's supposed to be like.
Yeah. LeBron didn't make it until his third year in the league.
Regardless, they were in the playoffs very, very young. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's what I'm saying.
Jason Tatum was in the Western Conference Final his rookie year.
Because the Nets are stupid. That's what
Jason Tatum?
I know you're arguing. I'm just kidding. I hate Jason Tatum.
Irving, Al Horford, Gordon Hayward, Marcus Smart.
I can go down the list, but Jason Tatum's the one I can remember recently.
But he made it to that team because the Nets are idiots and they gave him a pick for Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce. If it's not for that trade, Jason Tatum is not on the Celtics and he doesn't make it to the playoffs.
I'm sorry. I just expected more from the Spurs and Wemby. It's not you guys. It's the coaching staff to me. But I understand where you guys are coming from. I respect the coaching staff. I respect Greg. Like I said, I just think they need to utilize him more. And he can be so dynamic.
About respect? The kid is young, man. He's learning how to play basketball. There's nothing to do. The team is in the development stage. They're still trying to transition into being a good team. They're not supposed to be good yet. That's not how it works. That's not how basketball works. That's not how money works. You don't just throw your money at, this guy is amazing. Let's just throw all our money away and go to the playoffs next year. That's not how that works. Because guess what? The best players in the league aren't coming to play with Wemby. Because they're smarter than that. They know he's too young.
Bro.
Everybody has said
if LeBron James wants to play with Pop, everybody in the league wants to play with Pop. I promise you that.
Then why hasn't he, bro?
Because
he's assembled super teams everywhere else, but you guys, I'm just saying,
he's
bro.
Not the super team. That's not how he wins. That's not how he's never won like that. That's not his style of pursuing greatness. He has cemented himself in history with his way of doing it, and his way of doing it has succeeded. Now he's looking for the next stage because guess what? He was too dominant with the Spurs for too long. It's time to die down now. Nobody lives forever.
I get where you're coming from, bro. I just still don't agree with like a lot of the things that's been going on lately. If I saw a coaching change, I wouldn't be surprised. That's all I'm saying.
For the Spurs?
I'm just saying, bro. Things need to happen, bro. When's the last time the Spurs been in the playoffs? Because,
2 years ago? 3 years ago?
Because, like, the Steelers,
before that.
I can't even do that here because this is a whole basketball. Just talking about rebuilding franchises, I've seen franchises still be competitive and still get better.
It doesn't happen like that all the time, and it's okay that it doesn't. That doesn't mean anything with the team is not prepared to get to that stage yet. It's that simple.
You guys aren't realizing Wemby's only doing bad because his three-point shot isn't falling. He's up on 2 points. He's up on rebounds. He's right where he was at blocks. He's up everywhere else but his three-point shot. If his three-point shot falls, or if he takes less than, how many three-point shots has he taken? Less than 6 three-point shots a game right now. If he drops it down to 4, he's averaging almost 50% from the field. He's only playing bad because he keeps shooting threes.
Gotcha.
Like, bro.
And that's the freedom that Popovich has to control. He has to help him understand there's a better way to win the game. There's a better way to play and become a great player. Popovich is not the problem. Popovich was the best coach. It's the best franchise for him. Not a lot of lights, not a lot of flashiness. He can hone himself and really focus on the game of basketball. He has the perfect coach who's just going to teach him to play the game the right way. And he has veterans that he's going to start learning from slowly and slowly. It's going to get him somewhere eventually.
Chris Paul is all you need.
CP3 is a guard whisperer because I heard you guys say that he's the ultimate guard whisperer. I've never seen him help develop a big man. I'm not going to say nothing yet. I'll touch on that when the season ends. But other than, like, what, Blake Griffin, other than that, I don't...
DeAndre Jordan.
I mean, those were bro, I mean...
But they
develop with what he did with Shea.
Jordan on an all-NBA team.
I think he also helped develop James Harden with the past. Like, develop, when I say develop, like, he actually, like, real time, like, got these players, like, great within a season.
Chris Paul's not going to be there for development. He's going to be a mentor to let him know what it really takes in the NBA, what you need to focus on to really improve. He's not going to teach him how to rebound better because Chris Paul's 6
This
foot.
is all semantics, though. These are teams that he ended up on. It's not like he woke up one day and say, "I'm just gonna play with guards for the rest of my life."
No. What I'm saying,
the
track record speaks for itself, Nas. It's guards that he's helped. It's not that I'm picking that or he picked it. It's what I'm seeing.
But
Devin Booker, James Harden, Shea, those have been the best players he played with.
Look what he did with Aiden. Aiden's a great example.
Exactly.
We looked at Aiden as a legitimate center for a little while. We thought that, in that one instance they did not make a mistake with picking or passing from Luka, he really turned him into this all-defensive center who can finish ridiculously well, who had a post-game who could shoot. And then as soon as Chris Paul is no longer on a team with him, what happens to DeAndre Ayton? Do we talk about him anymore?
No.
Because Chris Paul,
but I don't think that was a development. I think that was just him getting more opportunities with playing with Chris Paul.
But that's what I'm saying. Because the Suns don't have a good development staff, but Chris Paul turned him into a real center.
Listen, at the end of the day, and this is the last thing I'll say about it, I just think it's blasphemous for everybody to always assume that young, great players have to be great immediately because of other great players who got lucky in the situation they were drafted in. Like, literally, we're going to use examples of players who got lucky. Like Jason Tatum got lucky to be drafted by the Celtics. That should have never happened. That was the Nets being stupid. Kobe Bryant demanded his way out of Charlotte and ended up in Los Angeles with Shaquille O'Neal. Magic Johnson got drafted by the Los Angeles Lakers with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
David Robinson gets injured, and then they get Tim Duncan.
We look at these other young players and assume that because they got lucky, everybody just has to do it the same way when their situation is completely different.
Too. I look at Paolo. He switched that up in 2 to 3 years. I look at LeBron James. I've seen players do it themselves, bro. So when you tell me
he's so
much more capable. He's so much. LeBron's team was not that good.
But LeBron never won on a team with other stars.
LeBron's the only example.
No, there's other players, bro. There's other players that have done this who have been the centerpiece at a young age.
On a bad team.
On a sub.
If Wemby is not on the Spurs, he turns into LaMelo Ball.
Heat, bro.
Shaquille O'Neal, Alonzo Mourning, Gary Payton. This is a subpar team.
This was before Shaquille.
They were trash before Shaquille.
He doesn't. Yeah, that's the year that they won.
They won with Shaq.
He was only
before Shaq. They were trash.
Because he was only in the league for 2 years before Shaq.
Regardless, bro, what I'm saying is I've seen great players do it.
You have to name them. You're going to say something.
I just said LeBron 3 times. LeBron 3 times. I said Paolo 3 times.
One player. Paolo had a good team. His team has gotten better.
Paolo's team got better 2 years ago, but he was still doing good and almost got into the playoff about 2 or 3 years ago, bro.
He's been in the league for 3 years. He just got to the playoffs last year.
I said 2 years ago.
They developed. They're good players. You haven't named a player who ended up on a bad team and that pushed them to the edge. Except
within 2 years of them being
Paolo was not on a bad team.
Do you want me to keep I don't have a list in front of me, so I'm not going to sit here and
Minnesota wasn't good until 6 or 7 years later.
KG was hooping that second year with Sam Cassell, bro.
That's great. Wemby's hooping too. Wemby's
hooping too. They were a decent team.
Wemby's hooping too. You see how you're not
Trae Young with the Hawks.
Proving your point.
Trae Young with the Hawks. Bro, you're tripping, bro. You're just trying to. You're catching me at a point where I don't have a list to go and look at every single player. Anybody can say go look at a list of who's done it before, but it's hard. It's not something that a common player does, but it's something that a great player does.
If you can't think of a good amount of players,
Nas, I just gave you 3 examples, and you're telling me I didn't give you examples. At this point, you got to move on. I gave you Trae Young. I gave you LeBron. I gave you Paolo. They're all young players and did it at a young time.
I do think that we're on this too long, so let's come back. But I will say, Wemby is on the perfect team for what he needs if he's looking for development. If he's just looking for solely numbers,
how you gonna say we're on this too long and then keep going?
I'm just gonna cut it off. I'm gonna summarize what we said.
He just wanted to get the last word.
If we're talking about development, he's on the best team. If we're talking about just numbers, maybe he can go to Charlotte and he could be LaMelo Ball, but he's still going to get the numbers. He's averaging better efficiency from everywhere but three this season. It's just going to take some time. Stop shooting threes.
He's going to retire soon.
But
anyway.
if we want to talk about a bad coach who should get fired, let's talk about the Bucks. Let's talk about Doc Rivers.
Okay, more rants.
They are 1-3 to start the season, which is blasphemous. Not only are they 1-3, you know what teams that they lost to? Anybody?
I'm sure you're going to tell us.
The Nets.
I'm not going to tell you. I want you to guess. You got one. Give me another one.
The Nets. Can I also get that one?
You got that one too. So you guys both got one right so far.
I know they lost to Toronto.
They also
right?
lost to the Bulls.
Oh, I thought it was Toronto.
They lost to two teams that they had no reasoning to lose to. Not only that, I got some stats here for you guys to really illustrate how bad they are playing right now. And this is not just last year, or I'm sorry, this is not just this year. This is also averaged out from last year as well. They are the 23rd worst perimeter defensive team in the NBA currently. They are also the 23rd worst team in their own three-point percentage. They are 28th in offensive rebounding. A team that has Brook Lopez and Giannis on it are the 28th worst or 28th worst offensive rebounding team in the NBA. How is that possible?
Well,
Brook Lopez isn't like the best.
Yeah, that's the first thing I was about to highlight.
Go back and look at it. Every single team that Brook Lopez goes onto, they rebound better. It's because maybe he's not grabbing the rebound himself, but he boxes out.
I'm not looking to argue that point. I get what you mean. I mean, I'm gonna be 100% honest because I don't want anybody to think that I'm backtracking on my opinions. I was a believer in the Dame and Giannis combination. I'm not gonna say that I didn't believe. Well, I knew this wasn't gonna work. I did think it was, and
me too.
I'm not fully sold that it's not going to, but I think that's the conversation we need to have. I get it. It's very fun to poke at Doc Rivers, and it's entertaining to do that. But
it's also right. And
I
correct.
think it is a fair conversation to have. That maybe that's just not the duo that's going to get it done. I think what made the Bucks is what they lost in that trade to get Damian Lillard. And I'm not saying Jrue Holiday as a player. I'm saying the team's identity with Jrue Holiday is what made them who they were. You know what I mean? And they should have tried much harder to replace that impact of Jrue Holiday somehow. Not equally, because I don't think that's humanly possible.
Maybe a Marcus Smart they should have picked up.
But at least try your hardest to find a close enough match to what he brought to the table. Chris Middleton was only getting older. They should have been aware of that. He has been very injury prone. Giannis plays a very athletic and rushed version of basketball. He's going to suffer injuries eventually. They should be aware of that.
He's also not great in the pick and roll. He doesn't like playing it.
Now, I know you can't predict injuries, but they have to understand. There's so many factors that the Milwaukee Bucks, I feel like, just didn't take into consideration. I think we have to ask the question: is the Dame and Giannis, project just not going to work? I think it should be, and it's not. So it's a question the Bucks have to ask themselves. To be honest,
I think this is even deeper too than what. I'm gonna just hone in on Darvin Ham. Why the hell would you guys pick up Darvin Ham? And on top of that, they coach the same exact way, him and Doc. Literally, they make no adjustments. The whole season's going to be the same. They're just going to lose out. Doc's going to get a pass because they're going to blame Dame and Giannis. And I just feel like it sucks because, again, it's a coaching thing. For sure. That's a very big, glaring thing that it's a coaching thing. And it was. It wasn't something that was successful last year. It never came into fruition. And even this season, I just don't see how they complement each other anymore. I used to think even Giannis could play with Curry, but I don't even think he's able to do that anymore. Just because of the fact that he doesn't like to run the pick and roll. And
I think it's Giannis. Giannis is being weird. I think he's the issue for once.
He might not want to be 1A, 1B, and I can see that there. Because Dame, I don't know if you guys watched the 520 podcast, they were talking about it, and he says that Dame does talk to him, but it's just he also said he does what he does. And he said that very, like, subtly. So I know he was trying to get it off his chest. But I just feel like Giannis is not going to change his style like
I'm
Nas
be
says.
honest,
I don't think Oh, yeah, I was going to say, he's not going to change his style. He's going to get hurt, and it's going to be another first-round exit, I think. A high-level seed, maybe 3 or 4, and they're out. They're bounced because everybody's hurt, or that's pretty much what's been their story, and I don't think that's going to change. I don't see that changing.
Yeah, if they're hurt, yeah, that's an easy prediction to make. But if healthy, they definitely get out of the first round. But
real quick, if they're hurt, is it a pattern? And is it something that we need to hone on
So
for Giannis?
it is a pattern. I broke it down last year. Since they won the championship, and actually even 2020, Giannis has been injured in at minimum one playoff matchup every single year.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good.
yeah, but I mean, two things. I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. Injury is injury. It's like you. There's nothing you can do. Giannis. One, I really hope we're not trying to insinuate that Giannis is a player they need to consider moving on from. Because
No, but I think Dame is.
Okay.
I think
Thank
Dame is.
God.
We're all on the same page on that.
I'm just glad.
I just think he's not buying into the role he needs to be.
That's my second point. Is I don't think he needs to. I don't believe he's supposed to. That's me. I understand Giannis has some deficiencies that can improve to make him a better player. However, I also believe that how he plays has been successful. So there's nothing that you can sit down and say it's not working, Giannis. He's going to rebuttal why. Why is it not working? It can't be me. I'm the same player I was last year, the year before that, and when we won a championship. So it can't be me, right? What changed that's not working, right? That's my thing. You can't just blame the star every time because of injuries or because this isn't falling or this isn't happening or that isn't happening. It can't always be the star. There's a common denominator when they win, and it's Giannis. Now let's find a common denominator when they lose because it's not Giannis, right? What happened when they lost, right? The coaching changes were a problem. That should have never happened. I genuinely believe Adrian Griffin did something in the background that nobody knows about just yet, but one day will be revealed.
No, we do know. It was an issue with Thanasis.
That's what they say. That always seems like the type of wishy-washy news that people.
I think that's why they're doing so bad this year because they don't have him on the team.
But it's possible. But it that made me lose my train of thought. My point is, Giannis is the system at the end of the day. Okay. So Dame needs to conform, in my personal opinion.
And I don't think a volume shooter works in that Giannis system because Giannis is their volume shooter, even if it's layups. You get what I'm saying? Even if it's layups. So at the end of the day, I think Giannis works better when they get stops and they can run. Deflections and they can run. When you can have that space where he can be free and what they called in Miami the Mack truck lane where he can just run that middle of the court, that's when I think he's his best. I don't think he's just free. I think Dame can sometimes at times take a rebound or something and just slow it down. We all know Giannis's game is not a half-court game. He's a deer, bro. He needs the ball and he's out. Like, no pun intended. He's really a buck. So it's like, at the end of the day, he's really a buck. No, like, he's literally, that's what he is. So, at the end of the day, they need to give him the ball, and he needs to be able to run. And I don't think Dame's one of those players that can go to a corner and have a good shooting night. He's not that efficient.
He needs to be.
He
needs to wake up. He needs to wake up.
He's not even shooting well this year.
He needs to wake up and understand that you're not him anymore. You're not him, and when you were him, it wasn't really going nowhere.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Second round.
It's something you got to realize. You went to a conference finals. Cool. That's cool. Whatever. You know what I mean? But what have you done since?
If Dame's on the move, right? I mean, this is just one spot, real quick. Where would you guys like to see him go?
So I'm going to be honest. I don't think that the Bucks get a good asset out of it because of the situation that they're in. Teams know that they can kind of lowball.
I don't think they trade Dame. I think somebody has to wake up and Dame said it himself. I don't know where it was, but I saw the quote somewhere. But he said it himself. Him and Giannis got to talk. They got to hold themselves accountable, hold each other accountable. And that's a fact. I think Giannis has to hold him accountable. And I think Giannis has to make him wake the fuck up and say, this is my team, bro. What you trying to do? I get it. You're a 20 shot per game guy. Not anymore. You remember?
You take those shades on. You're a different guy.
No, I'm saying but for real, that's how it has to be. You know
17
what I mean?
shots a game. I don't think you need to do that anymore.
I agree. Yeah, it's my team now. You came to Milwaukee. I didn't go to Portland. You know what I mean?
Can I say something? It seems like when they do win, Dame does have a good game. Can we agree on that? Like what I've seen in the trend in their pattern, is when Dame averages like 30
Well, they've
points.
only won once.
Well, no, even last year.
I've
Even
seen
last
them win
year.
games with Dame having good
No,
games.
it's just it's like it's like
Sorry,
if Dame's
lose
doesn't
games. That's what I meant to say.
yeah, of course.
Sorry.
I mean, they were losing a lot last year towards the end, but like if damn, that was a bad shot too. But if damn, that made me true.
Dame.
If Dame can average an efficient 25, I think, or even 23, it would do a lot better than what he's doing now. Like an efficient, like 10 for 12, 10 for 15. Because right now, I'm pretty sure even if you've looked it up, Tyler, he's probably shooting really
28 points a game, and he's averaging 46% from the field, 30% from three.
Yeah, no, that's not going to do it.
Dame does not need to average 28 points a game.
He needs to be a 90, 40, 50 guy, but efficiently.
You have
90,
that,
40
and
efficient
that's
guy.
the difference between winners and losers. Like you got to understand what it takes. You know what I mean? Giannis is too young. He's not at the stage where it's somebody can tell him that you need to change.
Yeah,
and that's unfortunate, but it's a fact. You know what I mean? Giannis is too young. He's not ready for that. He's 27. What? 28 maybe?
Oh, what do you mean?
He's almost 30.
If that.
Oh, change his play style.
Maybe 29,
Okay.
I guess, but he's not 30. You know what I mean? Like he's in the prime of his career. So like,
No, he's 30.
he's 30 already.
Yeah, bro, he's been in the league
Yeah,
since
he's been in the
2014.
leagues. Yeah, he's been in the league for a minute. He grew up in the league. He's a little older. Maybe he can. I mean, he's still in his prime years. Prime years are till you're 32, 33. So he can still play the
That
same way and be fine.
athleticism declines, and I think I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think no matter what the change, because of how injury prone that team is now, unfortunately, because it continues to get injured, I think that window closed.
I can agree with you on that. I don't expect much from the Bucks this season. And I know it's a little game sample, but I don't even think they might be even a top 4 team anymore in the East. And I think we can argue that, right?
Yeah, I fully
I got the Magic over
No, I
them.
think they're top 4. When it's all said and done, I think they hit their stride eventually. I don't think their championship window's closed either. I think they still have the ability to compete for
They
one
need to add,
if they can figure it out. But they're gonna have to figure out their roster. They need to figure out the pieces that are gonna bring them back to what their identity was. And if they're gonna pursue a new identity, then they're gonna have to find all the pieces that make that identity work. You know what I mean? If you're gonna pursue something different and play a different style of basketball, then some pieces are gonna have to change. You know, maybe Brook Lopez isn't your center anymore in this new situation.
He's
that you're
getting
trying to
too
be in.
old.
Maybe you trade their small forward.
Right, like maybe
He's a good asset team.
Maybe Chris Middleton is not the piece anymore. You know, if there's a new age of basketball you're trying to play with Giannis and Lillard, maybe it's time to look at different opportunities elsewhere as to what's going to work to make these two guys really prosper and succeed with each other.
I think a lot of teams would call for him too. I think a lot of teams would want him and what he can bring. Like teams like Golden State, teams like teams that are trying to grow.
Golden State's going for everything right now. They need anything. They're not playing too bad right now.
It's not like all this floor spacing benefits Dame that greatly.
Not at all.
You know what I mean? He's not like a guy who's looking to drive it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like he's
Bro, he's not even at the 3-point line.
Like he's good and he can drive for sure. That's not what I'm trying to say. But like, maybe it's time for a change. I
do think it's a community change is good for the team and bring some more young, like Tyler said, some young players that are hungry, that see that window there. Because I think an older player is not going to see that, and I don't think they're going to give them that energy that they're missing. I think they're missing Gnosis too.
I think that they're
missing that.
They might have had a locker room presence in him where it might have benefited them, but I'm not going to sell it out yet. I'm oh my God, Chet Holmgren is on fire so far. Starting off this game, we're only 4 minutes in.
That's the first 3 he's hit all year.
That's the second, actually. He just hit another one right before then.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was kidding. That wasn't his first or second 3 of the year.
Yeah.
I was kidding, too. He actually hit 3 today.
Shut up.
Ooh, J-Dub.
That was a great steal.
But on another topic, because you guys are talking about energy, have you guys been watching the Clippers?
Yeah, man. James Harden.
I've been keeping up with the stats, not watching the games, though.
While James Harden has been playing really suspicious, I think he'll kind of pick it up. He hasn't been playing the best. Bro, defensively, that team is nasty. Terrence Mann, Derek Jones Jr., Chris Dunn, they are just working together. They're putting people in the torture chamber. It is disgusting how well defensively they're playing.
Yeah.
If James Harden, they're doing this defensively, I think they're actually the top 3 defense in the league right now. They're doing this without Kawhi Leonard. If James Harden can become an offensive guy, to a fraction of what he was in Houston, that team might actually make some disruption in the playoffs.
I tried to tell y'all when we were doing our predictions, man. The Clippers can win games. Like they're gonna figure it out. They're gonna be a very likely playing team with a very large opportunity to make it to the playoffs. It's just they don't look like a bad team on paper. They don't. They just have players who aren't used to being the guy. You know what I mean? Because of Kawhi being gone and James Harden's career going in a different direction now.
The complete opposite from you.
I don't think they have guys like that, but like they can do it as a collective very easily. Like Norman Powell can hoop, bro. You don't realize, bro. Norman Powell can hoop. He's always been able to hoop like that. Like when it's his turn to take shots and to take over, that man can get buckets for real. You know what I mean? So like he's like an old version of Tobias Harris. You know, the new version of Tobias Harris.
We don't talk about Tobias Harris anymore.
But like that, he was that solid player for teams in the past. Where it's like, listen, if you want to get a bucket, go get it, and he can. You know what I mean? He can score with the best of them. I can't think of other players off the top of my head, but that's the type of player that he is. So I tried to tell y'all that they can win games. Like they're not gonna be trash. Like they can win games.
I didn't think they were gonna win games. I'm shocked.
I don't think that this is something. I got to see a 20-game sample still before I make my real predictions. I just don't think this is something James Harden can consistently do for the amount of games I think Kawhi will be out for.
I would hope so because James Harden's playing god awful.
He's not doing anything. He's not playing well.
But he is their system right now. You could tell on offense. He's touching the ball the most. He's got Zubac playing all-star level basketball. But I just can't see him doing this for another 40 games. Even if it's not what you guys think it is right now. I think this is what it is. But I think defense does drop off as the season go off.
Doing what exactly? He's not playing well.
He's playing terrible.
He's their piece on offense right now.
But I'm not understanding.
He's their facilitator. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm not understanding your point, though. Like, what do you mean by can't keep it up? If he's not playing well, you're saying he can't keep up playing bad?
I don't think he can keep up the facilitating, the energy it takes to be the point guard 100% and be the primary scorer. I don't think one of the things
they're going to... though? He's been that for years now.
Yeah, but not at a consistent level. Like, he wasn't like that. Like, it has not been... He's been a facilitator mostly. He hasn't been a consistent scorer.
But you just...
I'm saying that facilitator. I don't think that's something that's going to be able to...
Okay,
he's going to do...
Let's rewind. I want you to understand my confusion here.
Okay.
You said that he cannot keep up being a facilitator.
And I just don't think...
Okay,
whatever level...
I want you to understand where I'm confused so you can help me understand your point.
Yeah.
Then you proceeded to say he has not been consistent scorer. He's been a facilitator. So those two things don't go together. You just contradicted yourself. So
what I'm trying to say is he has not been a consistent scorer, and I don't think he's going to be a consistent facilitator if the season goes by without Kawhi.
What's going to stop him from averaging more than 8 assists per game? What would stop him?
The facilitation.
Literally his body. That's what I think that's going to stop him. I think literally him being the one who touches the ball all the time is going to be something that weighs on him eventually. He's going to have dead legs. He's going to have to take nights off. And this is where my point that I was going to. Who is their second man? Like, it's not going to be Norman Powell the whole year. You guys think it will be?
For once in my life, I would normally not, but I think until Kawhi comes back, yeah.
While Kawhi is gone, right, Norman Powell's going to average 20 points.
Like, normally I would not think so, but he has...
I'll take the under on that.
Yeah, I think he
averages... So Kawhi comebacks, I don't think he will average 20 points. I'll take the under on that.
I
just don't see consistent basketball from players that like those kind of players. But Nas, the one thing I will point that Nas said right, they're all vets. Like, they are seasoned players, and they're not old players. They're seasoned players. They know what to do. They know their role. Derrick Jones Jr. knows he's a 3-and-D guy. Terrence Mann, another 3-and-D guy. You got Zubac. He knows what his role. All these players know who they are in the NBA, and that's the one thing they do have going for themselves is that everybody knows their role. And
I think
that
with
could be
or
a good
without
thing.
Kawhi, the Clippers win 40 games.
Yeah, I don't think that they're going to be a playoff team, but that Norman Powell thing, I think you're crazy for that, bro. Most of his career,
has he ever
17,
18,
and that's only on 11 shots a game. If he just takes 13, he hits that.
We'll see.
I
got the under on it.
All right, we're gonna do a forfeit for this one, so you gotta think of a forfeit. Something that we're gonna do on the podcast.
Here you go again.
Man, you always want to make me look crazy on the camera.
He knows what forfeit means. You just don't.
He knows.
Because you've said it so many times, you've conditioned him to believe it.
Sorry that you just don't believe it.
I am not a fucking animal, you guys.
Speaking of animals, you see what Shaq said to
Oh my God, that was beautiful, Tyler. That was right now we're priding ourselves on our transitions. good shit, Tyler.
I think our next step to progress is to just let the transitions happen. It's like
I gotta
joke.
point that out.
It's like a joke. You can't explain the joke. It's not funny anymore.
I'm sorry, Tyler.
But for real though,
Tell
bro.
us about Shaq, man.
Have you guys seen it? I just
Yeah,
want to know.
it was a hard.
I'm not
watch.
even gonna front, bro. Like, because of the nature of the conversation, I never finished the video
Yeah,
because
it was
I
a
feel
hard watch.
uncomfortable.
It was just so weird. You could see how uncomfortable she was. It's a weird comment to make on its own. Like, no matter who says it, I think it's inappropriate to say to anybody. There's another level of weirdness when you understand the relationship that they have with him being the president of basketball for Reebok, him signing Angel Reese, him helping her throughout her entire career. It looks like he put her in this position to be weird. That's the only thing I can say. For anybody that doesn't know, he made a comment about the shorts that she was wearing on Wilding Out. He mentioned that if she wore that while she was dunking, a ton more people would watch her. Like, I just don't know why you would say that.
Yeah, that was a wild take.
Are we gonna rant?
Yeah, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Listen,
I didn't get to get
my good friend,
right.
like my good friend from the '90s, Sir Mix-a-Lot once said, "I like big butts and I can't have that."
Okay. But I will say Shaq
I'm
is.
gonna clip that.
Yeah, you should. Shaq is disgusting, bro, and he's been getting along a lot away with this foolery.
Yeah, too
his
much.
PR team is invincible.
I mean, honestly,
He has a great PR team because
Shaq is rich as hell. That's what's invincible.
yeah, and he's disgusting. That was a disgusting comment to make, and it just lets you know. I mean, Shaq's been proven. And I mean, if you guys are into like pop media and stuff
Pretty
like
sure
that,
he owns my apartment complex.
oh shit. Well, Shaq, we love you. Nas, cut that rent in half for him. Nah, regardless though, I think Shaq's always been a little bit of a creep, and he's always kind of been a sexual deviant. He's known as a serial cheater. His wife would never take him back because of that. She's married now to like a pastor. So like,
shout out Shawnee.
yeah. I mean, if we ever had like a real doc on Shaq, I don't think we would look at Shaq the same.
Bro, there was that time in practice where he said that he pooped in a bucket for like a week and then threw it on his teammate.
That's fucking disgusting.
His own mom had to call in because he's making fun of JaVale McGee too much. He just he goes too far with everything.
Yeah. I felt bad for JaVale, but I can't. JaVale kind of earned it though, but I felt bad.
This is just another step of weirdness because just a relationship. Why would you build up the relationship? You understand the things that you're saying. Why would you say that?
Believe it or not, what kind of rubs me? Wow. He's fucking Dodgers tied the game up. What inning is it?
I don't see.
We're talking about the World Series. We're all Yankees fans here.
Actually, never mind. Go ahead.
No.
I'll say it later.
Okay. What was I gonna say? It makes me also look at him different with the Gobert takes now. I think that's the most malicious thing. Like he's talking about another man's
What's that got to do
pocket.
with his Gobert takes?
No,
too
bro.
correlated.
He
Tyler,
be
you
going.
said yeah. Why are you laughing?
No, because he knows he
We're
goes
crazy,
in,
though.
bro. He
I
goes
did talk about
in
his
on
takes.
Gobert. No. Gobert's takes are like it's like he just doesn't like Gobert because other people are getting paid and not doing shit in the NBA. And I think that Gobert is better than a lot of players in the NBA.
I think Shaq is
deserves
jealous.
it.
He was hating on people who were doing a lot in the NBA. He was hating on.
He hit on Donovan Mitchell.
He freaking hates on LeBron. Oh man, he had LeBron. Oh, I can't even get in there. But
Regardless,
regardless,
Steph Curry though.
man.
Keep going. I'm sorry. I'm being rude.
Nah, you're good. You're good. This is just Shaq. Shaq's just a weirdo to me, and I'm looking at him different now, and I hate that. He's a childhood hero of mine. So, man.
Yeah, I had Shaqs when I was younger.
You have me too, the light up ones?
No.
Yeah, I got beat up at school for those.
Man, my first jersey ever was a Magic Johnson one.
Yeah, y'all said everything about Shaq, so I don't really got anything to add. To be honest, it was a weird situation. Like I said, I never really finished the video. The vibe of it was just uncomfortable to me. It's like, why are you saying this? She looks uncomfortable. It sounds uncomfortable. It's like, why are you saying these things? You know what I mean? Like she's pretty young. You know what I mean? Like she could be your daughter. You know what I mean? She's the same age as your kids.
She's younger than Sharif.
Yeah. Oh my god! Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like. It's a weird situation, you know. He's portrayed himself as like a father figure to her. Maybe not. I don't know if father figure is the right
I would say
term.
that. I would say that.
No, it's
in basketball, at least.
Yeah, he's portrayed himself that way. So it's like it was an awkward situation. And I wouldn't doubt that they have a relationship where they're comfortable speaking like that in private. it may be a situation where publicly she's like, well, this is just how you and me talk because we're comfortable with each other, but maybe we shouldn't really, say this in public. You know what I mean? Or it could just be just.
She might have been conditioned into it by him. That's what I think. I think that this might be a situation where Shaq continues to make these comments everywhere.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I don't think so though. I think she's a very outspoken person. I think she would have talked to him. I think she would have let him know, that's the wrong thing to do or say. And hopefully that sinks in. Hopefully she did speak up, and it doesn't end up continuing because that's just unfortunate. But it was an awkward and uncomfortable conversation, and I skipped through it. I heard the first half of it. I was like, yo, whatever the fuck.
I don't blame you, bro.
Let's get out of here. Yeah. I'll even watch something else, but even talking about it, I'd rather just talk about something else. So,
Shaq made Nas uncomfortable.
Rudy Gay retired. You guys hear about that? Rudy Gay retired.
Bro, that's sad though. Like he was never a Hawk, even at one point in his career. Like not once.
Yeah.
Why, he's from Georgia? Is that why you say that?
No, it's just crazy.
He was never a Hawk?
Yeah, bro, like everyone goes to the Hawks for retire.
Oh,
he was just never a Hawk.
So random. That was right. So random.
I read that and I was like, damn, he never once put an Atlanta jersey.
Okay, whatever.
Okay.
Rudy Gay retired.
Shout out to Rudy, man.
I didn't have much to say about that, but just in case y'all didn't know, Rudy Gay did retire.
I will say
about it?
One thing. I was like, he's a player before his time, for sure. If he was playing now and started his career now, he'd probably be a really great player.
Y'all remember when he got traded to Toronto in the first week? He had 3-game winners.
Yes.
He was
Do you remember that game against Memphis? There's a video where some guy's like, "No, not this guy, not this guy."
Yeah, but Rudy was cold, man. He was a cold player, bro, and definitely before his time. Also, he's an injury-riddled player. He dealt with a lot of injuries. Another player I wish I could have seen. Yeah, he was an injury guy.
ACLs.
Yeah.
You know how cold he is? You know how cold you have to be for someone to never make fun of your last name?
Yeah, and we just know you get buckets. I'll never disrespect Rudy like that.
Never hear anybody ever make fun of his last name, and it's one of the easiest to make jokes about that people do. And
that's such a great point. I never even thought about the fact that his last name was that. This entire time we've been talking.
You could say the word gay. It's his last name.
Yeah, you're right.
He said that.
But it's crazy, bro.
Listen, it's episode 2. We can't get canceled this early.
Yeah, he said that. Is crazy.
I'm gonna miss him, bro. I'm gonna miss him. Shout out the Kings. Shout out Rondo.
Yeah, man. Kings Rondo was different. Yeah. So did he get sent home? Was Kings Rondo sent home?
No, that was the Mavs.
Oh, Mavs.
That was before the Kings.
Yeah, we got to pick the wildest and Black Force NBA player list. We got to do it one day. That shit would be hilarious, bro.
We already got the Jailblazers. We can use most of them.
The Jailblazers? That's the most fucked up name ever. Nah.
On other news, though, we got that guy. I actually don't know much about him. What is his name? Taylor Hendricks. Did you guys see?
On the Jazz?
On the Jazz? Why do you say what the hell?
Because that guy.
Oh, yeah, I don't know much about him. I apologize. I'm not trying to be...
He's a forward on the Jazz. I know him because I had him in fantasy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had an unfortunate injury recently. Well, if y'all have a chance to go check it out...
non-contact.
It's probably not the most... fun thing to watch. You definitely need a stomach for it. But
did you guys rate it? I haven't seen it. 1 through 10.
Like
10. Yeah.
Is 10 the worst or is 10 the best?
10 the worst.
Where's it at with the? Remember? You guys remember when Gordon Hayward got hurt? Is it up there?
Similar. His leg looked like it went in half.
I think it's worse. I think it's worse than him and Paul George.
Because the difference between that is, at least they had contact with something. His was literally just in the middle of the court. Nobody around him or anything.
He had slipped, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah, he slipped.
Damn.
Yep.
He must have been running fast or something. Jesus.
Fast as fuck, boy.
It was a light jog, I think.
Yeah, it really was.
It was a light jog.
I think he stepped over his foot by accident.
I don't mean to laugh. I'm so sorry. No, but
he dislocated his ankle and broke his fibula, right? Or tibula.
Honestly, if you told me that, I'd be like, yeah.
For sure. He had to have broken something.
I don't think that they've done the test on it. Well,
no, I've seen it.
He had to have broken something. There's no way. Okay, I'm sorry. Let's move on to the next topic. For those of you who didn't know, we just wanted to let y'all know that's some of the newest happenings in the NBA. So y'all can look that up. I refuse to put it on the screen, but y'all can look that up. What we got on for today? I know we got to wrap it up soon. We're on a tight budget today.
Oh, we're back with the GM5.
Studio
guys?
time is closing up.
Yeah, we're coming.
GM5.
We're going back to
GM5,
GM5. They just came back last week, and we'll be there. We'll be there actually this weekend.
Are you guys excited? The drama's hot. The boys are talking.
We're gonna be back at GM5 this weekend. I made a top 10 list
because our top 5 was misconstrued.
Yeah, man.
TP, you gotta come hit us up first. Please.
Side note though, shout out to Bubba and Pink for having us on the Bench podcast. Me and Orlando popped up. Tyler was able to make it as well.
I just wasn't on camera.
He was on the sideline, but you can hear him talking a couple times throughout the episode. But shout out to Bubba and Pink. Make sure y'all go subscribe and follow them on Instagram, YouTube, On the Bench podcast. Their YouTube channel actually is Watch 407 something. If I have a chance, I'll edit it on the screen for y'all. So make sure y'all subscribe.
They also own a team in the GM5 league.
Yeah, also called On the Bench. So shout out to them.
The second best team in the league.
We're not going to get a chance to see them this weekend. We're going to go to GM5 to do the first 2 games just because I have to go do a live stream for the Polk County Royals, and they're a very well-paying customer, so I got to keep them happy.
I'm booing. I'm booing Nas here. I want to preface this. I'm not booing the Royals. Boo.
I think I'm gonna stay a little late and show some face for the hoop talk. Definitely, I enjoy the drama throughout the day. I like the kicking of the chairs. I like the group chat. I like people not coming to games and getting kicked out of the league and blaming the league for their rules. No shade or nothing like that. I like drama, so I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be square, and also I'm gonna have my mic hot. So what that means is, if you need to get something off your chest, come to me. I'll give you my mic. You can say what.
Pluto's doing interviews.
No interviews. No interviews. I'm going to give you 10 seconds on the mic. No, 20 seconds on the mic. Get your shit off. Please keep it at least PG-13. Please don't talk negatively about anybody. Just get your shit off. Tell me how you feel. We'll call it Pluto's Corner. You know what I'm saying? Where, deals get done. Meals don't get served. I don't know.
This is all a part of Pluto's plan as well.
But this will be good, man. Drama's good. It's fun. It makes everything more competitive, and everybody's having fun. So I'm excited to be back.
Can I do my top 10? I know we didn't plan for it.
Nah, throw it out. Be quick.
All right.
And then after that, we'll kind of close it out.
All right, listen up, y'all. It's your boy, MC Nasty Nas. Make sure y'all check out my debut studio album, The Nasty Show.
Nas keeps it nasty.
I got my GM5 top 10 players for the season so far. I lost track of how many weeks, but for the season so far, and I'm going to spit it out to y'all real quick, so y'all let me know how y'all feel in the comments section.
Over this beat I'm about to make.
So, I got number 1, of course. I feel like nobody should disagree. We got Dom Douglas from Game Time. I got Romello Bates at number 2 from On the Bench. At number 3, I actually have another Game Time player after some debating with myself. I put Aaron Farrington. I think his full name is Aaron Farrington, if I'm not mistaken. But also from Game Time, he's at my number 3 spot. AJ Williams from Worldwide is at my number 4 spot. Great two-way player. From Park Legends, the team is not doing the best, but I do believe Nick Wallery is one of the best players in the league. Virtually unstoppable when he wants to be. So I have him at my number 5 spot. From On the Bench, making a second appearance here on the top 10 is Luke Doyle, the best shooter in the league.
By far.
Looks like a pro NBA player out there when he's shooting. The way he comes off them screens and the curls and all that kind of good stuff. He's a phenomenal talent when it comes to jump shooting. At number 7, I actually have Zuldo from UGK. Sorry, I forgot there for a second. Rod from On the Bench, making their 3rd appearance in my top 10. Rod Lawrence is my number 8, which is going to come a little shocking to some of y'all. But he has an inconsistent season so far. So I have my number 8 because of it. I have Dom Williams from the Enforcers.
Shout out to
Mustache Dom.
The big stash.
And that's my number 9 spot. And then I have Willie Nunez at my number 10 spot from UGK. I think he's put up a very great season, he's averaging 19.9. So he's basically averaging 20 points per game. For short games, running clock, 45 minutes apiece. Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
Especially when you have Zoldo, who's also averaging 21 points per game. So, a lot of shots are going through him. So, shout out to Willie Nunez. And then I have some honorable mentions as well. I have who did not make my list, Jermaine Johnson from OJR.
And
Anthony
the Serpents.
Rice, also from the Enforcers. And Sean Sukup, Mr. Do-It-All from Game Time. He contributes in every little thing that you can think of. He's one of the top leaders in assists, one of the top leaders in rebounds.
Bro's a quarterback at this point.
Yeah, literally.
He gets a rebound and immediately looks down court.
Bro, the real Matthew Stafford. Bro, it's like...
I've never seen him dribble the ball.
Him and Dom are the perfect pairing. I swear, bro.
And
Dom
Aaron
runs. Yeah, they run
Aaron,
and he just throws it. They run and he throws it. Like, it's amazing.
Well, that's simple. My top 10. We're going to be at GM5 this weekend to catch the first 2 games. We're going to live stream them, do our little commentary. So shout out to GM5 for having us again. Make sure y'all go follow them. Make sure y'all like everything. Comment as many posts as you possibly can, man. Show some support. Show some love.
Meet us out there, too.
Best league out right now.
For sure.
And if you don't like what Nas said, feel free to confront him in the parking lot, please. He deserves it. He absolutely deserves it.
Back, Tyler.
I will not.
Wow. Hey, listen, some of these GM5 players, they might square up for real.
Who was homie who kicked the chair last time I was there? Who I made mad?
Phil.
Yo, Phil, I love you, by the way. I love your game. And I'm sorry that sometimes I say things that you wouldn't agree with. And I don't expect you guys to ever agree with anything I'm saying. But, you know, I'm just seeing what I'm seeing. So if you ever want to talk about it, I'm down to talk about it. No malice or anything like that. But, Phil, I'll never cross paths with you in a dark alley, big dogs. You got it. You got that, big dog.
Shout out to GM5, man. And last but not least, we'll wrap it up and get out because our studio time is about to close up on us.
I'm trying to go to sleep, bro.
Last but not least, Tyler and I just finished filming our first episode of our 2K series. It's going to be our first major project with 2K, and we got plenty more coming up. We're calling it our Expansion to Champion series, where both of us picked an expansion franchise, plugged them into the NBA, did an expansion draft, and we're going to see which one of us can build a championship team first. So y'all make sure y'all go check it out. This episode is going to come out on Thursday, 6 p.m. on Halloween. You're going to see all the Halloween decorations on the screen. And then our 2K is going to come out Friday, which is November 1st. So we're going to try and do our podcast episodes every Thursday and our 2K stuff every Friday. And then we're going to have some more 2K stuff coming in. So y'all make sure y'all tune in. If y'all like to play 2K, if y'all are 2K heads and y'all want to get on the sticks, man, make sure y'all drop your PSNs or your Xbox
we're gonna have some
tags,
opportunity for money.
It is. We're going to have some cash tournaments. We're going to have some leagues. We're going to have some Pro AM stuff. We're going to have everything, man. So y'all make sure y'all tap in.
Real quick before we go, Tyler, 2 minutes. We'll be going live this Sunday. I don't know if Tyler will be able to make it, but I am. Hit me in my DMs. Also, I know we got some things I can't really touch on yet, but we are having tryouts for an official Hoop Talk Team 2K team. I know we've been talking about it in the group chat. It doesn't have to be us, but
we need a point guard.
Yeah, we're down to sponsor. We're down to sponsor for sure. Regardless of the fact, though, we're gonna have those tryouts. And last thing I wanted to touch on as well with this whole 2K thing, I'm not taking this 100% like for real. This is like if it's not a tournament that we're doing, this is for fun. I don't expect everybody to be the best 2K player, so anybody's welcome. Like I said, it's just for shits and giggles and just to have fun and have a Discord, talk about parlay picks, talk about basketball. Just a way for, like, you know, guys to talk pretty much, just another avenue. That's really how I'm looking at this. But there are exciting things that we're going to do within tournaments. Just going to be dope. It's going to be real dope. So just be here in the beginning and you'll get – I promise you we'll find a way to get you preference because that's all that we need right now is just building blocks for right now, for sure.
Listen, I don't know what he's talking about, but if I hop on the sticks, I'm going to talk a whole lot of hot cash money shit. I'm going to tell you that much.
I'm going to talk the most
cash
shit.
Money shit. Y'all hear the chain. Y'all hear the chain, man. MC Nasty Nas in the building. Shout out my studio album, man. Shout out to Nasty Music,
I'm plugging his mic.
We are out of here.
Nasty Music Records. No. Shout out my debut album, The Nasty Show.
Can I sign off for us, guys?
On NTV.
I'll sign off for us.
No, but all jokes aside, that's all we got for today, man. Thank y'all for tapping in. Thank y'all for showing up. Make sure y'all subscribe. Leave a comment if you watched through the whole episode, man. Let us know that you're a real fan. Share with all your friends and family, man. That's all we got for Hoop Talk episode 2. Happy Halloween. Happy trick-or-treating. We'll catch y'all next week.
Check up. Make sure you check your candy.